welcome to my channel. So I guess the upside down is the upside up now, right? And by the way, don't people know the difference between snow and ashes? Like the little girl at the end, Mom, it's snowing. No, little girl, that's not snow, those are ashes. So the last two episodes of season 4 total about 4 hours with no significant deaths. And I was disappointed. Good news is Steve survived. Woof. And I guess the most shocking thing about the finale is that nothing shocking really happened. Papa died, but was that a major death? No, all the protagonists are still there. I mean, we lost Eddie, but Eddie was a brand new character. His death was kind of pointless because he had the demon bats follow him to save his friends, but the friends, they were already at the Creeler house, and maybe Eddie didn't know that they hadn't made it to the house, and maybe he was just trying to save Dustin from the bats. He did have that cool music scene where he's on the rooftop playing the guitar to Metallica Master of Puppets, and I'm such a Metallica fan that I was so into it. The whole time I was like, faster, faster. And I actually thought, because from the trailers we saw that Eddie was going to have that big guitar playing scene, I thought it was going to be to Iron Maidens, because when Robin, you know, at the beginning of episode 8, they're looking for music, and Robin has all these cassettes, and she's like, Madonna, she's naming a bunch of musicians, and then Eddie grabs a tape of Iron Maiden, and he says, this is music. It was really sad though that even after his death, the town, it still saw Eddie as a cult leader. If you saw, you know, the pamphlets of, you know, still missing, somebody drew, I think, a pentagram or something. I thought it was so sad when he was dying in Dustin's arms. He said, this will be the year that I'll graduate. And then he says something, I didn't run this time. Also, when Dustin at the end was talking to his uncle was saying, no, he's not dead. He's still missing. And Dustin says, I was there with him. But if I was the uncle, I would have said, okay, you were there with him. Where's his body? Remember, we have 3 big storylines: the kids at Hawkins, the kids in LA, and then Hopper and Joyce in Russia. In volume 1, my least favorite storyline was the kids in LA. This one was the Russian, you know, plot line. Besides the fact that finally we got Hopper and Joyce kissing. I hope they go on that date, finally, at Enzo's. Oh boy, didn't Russian prison did Hopper some good? Did you see him without a shirt on, shaved head? When did he get so hot? I knew that David Harbour had to lose some weight or get in shape for Black Widow, but here it's another level of hotness. Let's talk about Will, who, by the way, has been underused and deserves better next season. He had this really sweet brotherly moment with Jonathan at the pizza shop that melted my heart. To notice that your brother is hurting so much and to say to him, I love you no matter what, I'll be there for you no matter what, was so touching. And when they hugged, it reminded me of the trailer. I thought from the trailer that hug in the kitchen was between Will and Mike, but it was between Will and Jonathan. So I hope that after underplaying Will for 2 seasons, he will have a big part on season 5. And the mysterious painting that Will drew, he finally showed it to Mike. And it's basically just a D&D dragon. I believe Will used 11 as a proxy for his own feelings for Mike, including the stuff about Mike being the heart. He just said that it was 11's feelings to cover it up. And props to Noah Schnapp, who plays Will, for portraying such hurt. You know, being in love with your best friend and not being able to express your feelings, especially during the 80s when coming out as gay, I can't imagine being easy. When he had that conversation in the van with Mike about, how hard it is to be different, and he turned away and oh my gosh, he muffled his cry. He put his hand on his mouth and he started bawling. I was devastating. It's so sad when you learn how to bawl quietly. Watching Will do that broke my heart. Another great performance was by Caleb McLaughlin, who plays Lucas. The scene where where Max is dying in his arms and he's yelling for an ambulance, that would have made the perfect death scene. Besides the fact that Max survived. Also, his fist fight with Jason was pretty awesome. I was like, you go, Lucas. About Max, I was a bit confused by the 4 portals since Max didn't die. But then later on at the hospital, Lucas explained that her heart stopped for about, was it 4 minutes that he said? Was it 4 minutes or a few seconds? No, I think he said 4 minutes. So technically, she did die, and that was the loophole for Wagner to open the last portal. Wasn't it sad that she said that every night she lays down and she wishes that something bad would happen to her, but when she was actually dying, she tells Lucas, she's like, I'm not ready yet, I don't want to die. And then she says that I can't see anything, I can't feel anything. And don't you think that it was Eleven's fault that Max is in a coma? Because once again, she technically died, and 11 resurrected her heart, causing her to go into a coma. So I think it's something that 11 is going to have to deal with on season 5. Nancy and Jonathan, at the end, when he says to her, are we cool? And she's like, yeah. I'm like, no, you're not cool. Nancy, get back with Steve. I know a lot of people think that Nancy and Steve are not a match. I think they're great together, especially now that Steve has, matured and grown up. I don't see her with Jonathan anymore, especially because he's still lying to her about college. Then we had the, predictable showdown between 11 and Wagner, which I predicted that it was going to be like a Harry Potter Voldemort type of fight. Also, when Wagner was getting into the Upside Down for the first time, and he's still like, the makeup, he's half one and half, getting into his Wagner self. It reminded me a lot of Voldemort. I really like the montage of all 3 storylines about fighting when Mike yells at 11's ear to fight. You have to fight when she's laying on the salty tub. And then all the other storylines, they start to fight as well. Was Eddie and the Bats, and then Hopper and the sword, and then still like a really cool scene. And then the was a Nancy. Oh, Nancy with that like shotgun that she sawed off. And I was just like, Nancy, she kept shooting Wagner in one arm, then the other arm. I'm like, go for the head. You that close. But anyway, that montage of everyone fighting at the same time was really cool. But overall, I didn't think there was a climax on these 2 episodes. I thought they should have really committed to killing Max. I felt like they were playing it safe by letting her survive again. There was no emotional weight to that final episode. It would have been such a fitting end to the character because Max had been through so much, and it will also add a lot of stakes. Like the Duff brothers didn't have the guts to pull the trigger. Even though we got that awesome shot of 11 shooting down the helicopter, when Papa unlocks her electric collar, for a split second, I was like, aw, he loves her. And then I was like, nope, abusive, still abusive. I think 11 never really powered up this season she didn't even fly. And I thought it was weird because Mike said something about, oh, you can fly, you can move mountains. I mean, she lifted up Nina, but I don't think she actually flew. And, the fact that Papa was right all along, that she wasn't ready to face Vecna yet. I still liked Volume 1 better, mostly because we got that backstory of one, Vecna and Henry. And my predictions for season 5, I think Max will come back. I think her mind right now is hostage of Vecna. Like, I think Vecna will possess her. And I really want to see more of Jamie Campbell-Bower. I think he's great. I hope he shows up on season 5. And speaking of Vecna, when he tells Eleven that he wanted to join forces, what I think she should have done was to tell him, okay, you want to rule together? Let's do it. But I want to make sure my friends and my family, it's safe. You don't touch them, then okay, I'll go with you. Almost like sacrificing herself and then later on backstab him. And my last little criticism was that whole 2 days later thing. I wanted to see Eleven wake up and talk to Mike. I wanted to see Robin, Nancy, and Steve find out about Eddie. So that whole, 2 days later felt a bit cheap to me. What did you think of the finale of season 4 of Stranger Things? Were you upset about the deaths on volume 2? And what are your predictions for season 5? Let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you like this video, please make sure you hit the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and also hit the little bell, the notification button, so you don't miss any future videos. And I'll see you next time.